What's going on, Consciouz, your favorite breakdown commentator? Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to get into. Before we do so, please go ahead and run the likes all the way up. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the St. Joe Rara. So whether you're part of the replay gang acting for me in real time, or you are old next piece of bush, baby, please swing and bang and bully the hell out of that like feature. You ain't no weirdo. It ain't nothing but love for the king, my God, today. If you also enjoy everything the king does here, you can always donate to the platform at $Consciouztv on Cash App and or paypal.me/Consciouztv. That's Conscious, but with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the channel. All donation information and social media handles are, of course, in the description box below and scrolling from right to left at the bottom of the screen in red and white. Yes, God. What's up? Make sure that you have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community or your Snapchat, your MySpace, your dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give no damn where you, in fact, live the like. Just let them whores know that we're loud, we're live, and we're certainly in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through. Oh,
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Passionate group, girl, and we get litty when it comes to discussions, and we just can't hold it together. So I will be regulating the panel more, making sure that everybody gets to talk one at a time and that there's no overlapping, because we do have a viewing audience, and the whole point of content is for the sake of the audience. And I'm also probably going to be bringing back some type of a call-in line, because I think that will also help to regulate discussions too. And I think that a lot more people will feel comfortable interacting with the subject matter, because StreamYard kind of is a lot, and some people are afraid of camera slips, and it's just too kind of technological for them. So I think a call-in line is very basic, very practical, very easy going. So we're going to be getting litty on the call-in line as well, all right? So if anybody knows any good third-party software or apps that are really good for call-in lines, leave it in the comment section below this video. Okay, all right, so we're here to get into Miss Funky Dineva, child. Funky Dineva is getting flamed the fuck up because apparently on his show, I'm assuming from yesterday, I don't know what led to this. I didn't get a chance to watch the show. I haven't watched a Funky Dineva live in like probably months at this point. I see clips and sound bites and shit. So I don't know what the context was. I don't know who he was talking about that led him into what he ended up saying. But he ended up basically expressing some sympathy toward those who are afflicted with sexual and romantic attraction to minors. And he also got flamed up for seemingly comparing the affliction of pedos to any other natural sexual orientation. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys hear what Funky had to say. Then we're gonna read some of the comments where he's getting dragged to flames at, and then I'm going to give my commentary. Once again, share, thumbs up. The king is always working for you. Yes, God, today.
Feel bad for anyone who wakes up one day and discovers that they have a sexual attraction to children. Listen to me carefully, and I'm not talking about people who have acted on it. I am not talking about people who have acted on it, or harmed children. Listen carefully. I feel bad for someone who woke up one day and without any choice of their own had for them what was a natural attraction to children. I feel like it's a burden that none of us would ever want to carry. And I always say I'm very fascinated by the human brain. And I am. And I guess the reason why I am able to have this level of introspection when it comes to people who have a pedophile problem is because oftentimes the general society loves to throw the LGBT community in that same bucket with them. And I just like to speak in possibilities, right? If it is possible with no input of my own that I was born gay and that I was born with an attraction to men, I do believe that it is possible that somebody can be born with an attraction to children. I do. And again, I'm not attempting to excuse it. I'm not trying to make it right or anything. I just do. And it would have to suck to one day wake up and be like, I'm attracted to 11-year-olds. And that there's nothing that I can do about that attraction. And again, I'm not talking about acting on it. I'm simply talking about the attraction. That has to be a heavy cross to bear. That's all I got on that. I can tell by the comments, this is not the conversation for y'all.
Yes.
For another group.
Yes, it's not the conversation for that group because unfortunately, trendy topic commentators don't really get away with having certain conversations in a higher way because pop culture trendy audiences are really there for the entertainment. They're there for kind of the lowbrow of it all, for the mess of it all, for the sensationalism of it all. So when you really pivot off into some multifaceted, complex subject matter, yeah, a lot of times those viewers don't even have the capacity to even begin to unpack and deal with whatever the fuck you are leveraging in the dialogue. But the irony of what Funky Dineva stated as his belief is actually kind of scientifically or psychologically factual. Okay? Check this out. Scientific research suggests that pedos operate much like a fixed sexual orientation rather than a conscious choice or a learned habit. Studies using brain imaging show structural differences in the brains of individuals with pedophilia. Y'all know I gotta censor certain things. Pointing to innate biological or developmental factors established early in life. Brain scans show distinct patterns or cross-wiring in individuals attracted to minors compared to adults. These neurological traits appear fixed and do not shift or change over time. Experts view the condition as an underlying biological predisposition rather than something caused by a person's later environment or upbringing. Having an innate sexual attraction is distinct from committing a criminal act. which is what Funky Dineva was saying when he was saying he's not talking about those who are acting on it, but just talking about the affliction and the attraction in and of itself as an isolated thing, because you have pedos who have the affliction but do not act on their affliction. They have the discipline, they're in therapy, they manage their impulses and their desires, etc. And then you have those who actually act on those impulses. So he was making it contextually clear that he was talking about those who have not actually harmed children physically, but are dealing with the affliction in and of itself. This goes on to say that these neurological traits, having an innate sexual attraction is distinct from committing a criminal act. Many individuals with this affliction do not abuse children and actively manage or seek help for their condition without harming anyone. Committing child sexual abuse is a behavioral choice and an illegal act, not an inevitable outcome of having the attraction. So basically, pedos have the same wherewithal and capacity to control their urges and to abstain like anybody else who's attracted to anything else. Heterosexuals have the capacity to be celibate and abstinent. Homos have the capacity to be celibate and abstinent. Pansexuals, bisexuals, trans attracted people have the capacity to be celibate and abstinent, and so do these individuals who can have this affliction but not act upon it. Okay. Also had looked at some other stuff. Is pedophilia natural to pedophiles? Pedophilia is an involuntary fixed sexual orientation. So in some scientific or psychological literature, they actually use that exact type of verbiage and framing of sexual orientation. Pedophilia is an involuntary fixed sexual orientation or preference pattern rather than a conscious choice, meaning the underlying attraction feels persistent and deep-seated to the individual who experiences it, though it is legally and ethically unacceptable and classified clinically as a disorder when associated with distress or harmful behavior. So that's interesting that there is a nuance and a distinction that for the pedophiles who actually act on it is considered a disorder if they've acted upon it, because that obviously leads to harm and criminality. But if you haven't acted upon it, then it's within the range of what's considered an sexual orientation. My God, today. Involuntary origin. Research indicates that those afflicted interests develop early and are not chosen or voluntary acquired by the individual. So this is not voluntarily acquired. It's not a choice that PDFs are making in terms of how they feel. Yes, what they do is a choice. If they act upon it, that's a choice. But the experience and the attraction itself is involuntary and is considered to be innate and due to complex behavioral and biological factors. Brain structure. Neuroimaging studies show distinct structural and functional differences in the brains of individuals with the affliction compared to the general population. Like other sexual orientations, this deep-seated pattern tends to be stable and resistant to change over a person's lifetime. Okay, so Funky Dineva essentially was correct. Now, I think what commentators need to do, especially when you want to talk about certain topics, is baby, back that shit up with research, because people can argue with the facts. They ain't arguing with you. Okay? Y'all know that we're well studied over here. We will reference an article, data, statistical charts, baby. Okay? We always get into the minutia, as my boy YB Speaks likes to say. So, word to the wise for all content creators, especially when you're talking about psychology, sociology, is always best to talk and speak from a place of matter of fact, because a lot of things that people be framing as a belief aren't actually beliefs. It's actually rooted in scientific law, scientific principles, scientific research. Okay, it's no need to believe. I really don't know why Funky just didn't actually Google a few things, because he would have saw that he wouldn't have had to rely on his beliefs. He could have corroborated his beliefs by what the actual data and research also reveals. Okay, and it's not Funky Dineva fault that pedophilia is considered a sexual orientation. Now, why the fuck that is, we don't know. The universe, you know what I've come to understand about the universe? The universe is a very strange place. And, you know, the amount of knowledge we as human beings possess about everything that can be known in the known, measurable, objective universe is probably less than 1% on a pie chart of knowledge. Like the knowledge that all of humanity possesses collectively compared to all of the knowledge that actually exists within the multiverse of creations is probably less than 1 goddamn percent. The universe is just fucking strange. The universe does strange shit. The universe creates strange shit, from animals to insects, to viruses, to parasites, to mutations. The universe is a very, very complicated, blurry mess of a petri dish. And just when you think you have a black and white fixed understanding of the way shit works, the universe goes and does something that completely sidelines all of that shit to humble the fuck out of your ass and to keep you in the place of seeking and searching because you don't know a motherfucking thing. Okay? Now, a lot of people got into the comment sections of the blogs that were reposting Funky Dineva's commentary, and there was a lot of people projecting. There was a lot of people who heard what they wanted to hear. They didn't actually hear what the fuck he said because they were so busy having an emotional experience of what he was saying that they couldn't even have a logical, rational understanding and approach to the conversation, because subject matters like this stimulate a lot of response to begin with. They're very polarizing subject matters, and most of the time when people hear PDF files, they automatically go to those who are acting on it. And once the brain goes to that, most people don't want to hear shit else. But once again, there are two classes of PDF files: those who act on their affliction and those who do not. Okay, so he was getting dragged. People were saying, girl, check his browser history, check his laptop. Girl, people wanted his ass under investigation. And I'm just like, my God, if all y'all would do is just go study some shit. Go read some shit. Go look into some shit. Okay? Because everybody relying on their feelings, baby. The world ain't revolving around your motherfucking feelings, okay? There's facts, and there's data, and there's actual research that exists in the world, okay? And this allegiance to one's belief, even over facts, okay? It's really wild work. But this is the time that we're living in. We're living in a very emotional time where people actually prefer their own personal narratives over truth over research, over data, etc. It's a mess, child. But yeah, people did a lot of projecting, and people were calling for the cancellation of him. I'm gonna drop the link if anybody want to come up, bruh. And if anybody got anything to say, I just wanted to come and bring you guys the 121212. You know, as much as people may not like what Funky Dineva had to say, it is psychologically backed up by the research. And if people want to kind of do the deep dive on that, on the actual research and the actual findings, you know, that's one thing. But the man didn't say nothing wrong. Now, when he said that he empathizes, if what the research reveals is that this is innate, this is biological, and it operates within the same framework of every other known sexual orientation, like hetero, bi, and homo, then yeah, I can understand why he sympathizes, because nobody would want to wake up as a motherfucking PDF file. Who the fuck would want to wake up and to feel that way and to be afflicted that way and to be in that position, to literally be, as the research says, to be almost hardwired, that you're neurologically wired to be this way. Yeah, that is a fucking fucked up burden to carry, to have a brain and to have a neurological wiring that orients you a certain way. But the good news is, while that is a fucked up affliction, people can manage their impulses and can refrain from causing harm. And it's also good that the research says that most PDF files, or many of them, actually get help, that they're in therapy and they're managing themselves accordingly so that they do not cause harm to another. Okay? And death to all PDF files who do act upon their affliction, because there's just no excuse to act upon it. We're not designed to have to ever have that type of contact with anybody. Like sex, love, sensuality, these are all things that you can actually live your life without ever having to experience. What you need is water. You need food. Hell, needing shelter is questionable. But you know, you don't need anything else, which is why abstinent straight people exist, abstinent homosexual people exist, and why there are PDF files who also are abstaining from acting upon their affliction and causing a harm to children, child. Okay, so I see that you guys, nobody want to come up. I'm gonna read some comments and we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. It's from SA victims, SA more victims. Some people get confused about what. Okay, I'm not really sure what you're saying. Hershey kissed, maybe like write that out completely. Soul Poor says science is science with tons of research that's available and triple duple checked. Yes, my God. If you ask me, science has been cooped, or co-opted. We are the universe looking back at itself. People can be triggered by this, and people who experience this or treated by this, no one wanted to know whatever is in Funky's mind. Well, Funky is a content creator. You know, he gets to choose whatever he chooses to find interesting and speak about. It's the Funky Dineva show, okay? My sister has a degree in psychology, and she told me this info years ago. Stunted growth is a thing. That's always Funky's problem. No research, but he's right. Yeah, all he had to do was back it up, and really, a lot of people, you know, I mean, that would have helped some of the backlash, because there is research to corroborate that. Orange Piggy knows about this too well, which is why he's doing what he's doing, because he's an FC. My God. Baby Stevie gonna be on Trump's neck. My God. Unfortunately, the victims or survivors in his comment section channel, if you will, does not want to hear this. And yeah, I completely understand. It's triggering, especially if you've been a victim. But that doesn't stop the conversation or the research and the reality of how that works on a biological and social level. You really believe that, or do they just have stuff on their phone or computer? I'm not really sure what you're asking, Shy Thomas, because I'm looking back in retrospect, so I don't know what you're asking. So you can ask that again, because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, because I was missing a whole lot of context what the statement was making. Just saying it's disgusting. That's why kids still be vulnerable. Try to understand the deviance, and we can treat the deviant behavior. Yeah, treatment is getting them niggas into therapy, child, and raising awareness in the communities, because there are people who are afflicted this way. There are people who are afflicted this way, child, and they come in all forms and sizes, baby. They are life coaches, they're teachers, they are daycare providers, they are policemen, they're judges, they're politicians, they're lawmakers, they're presidents, they're parents, they're neighbors, they're supervisors, they're managers, they're landlords, they're Uber drivers. You know what I mean? You know, they come in all forms, shall. Okay, so stay ready. Yes, but he came out of nowhere with it. Yeah, I'm not really sure what he was talking about, because I didn't see the show, but I just saw the clip or whatnot. And regardless of what his context was, I mean, you know, he was correct, and people can go and educate themselves and take the conversation past Funky. There's data that shows a correlation between homosexuality and actual pedophilia. People do not like to have these conversations, but none of this is truly new. Yeah, I haven't seen that research, and if there is a correlation, there's definitely a correlation between PDF files and heterosexuality, for sure. Because sexuality is just an umbrella term. So whatever correlations exist for one exists for all. And that's why they are PDF files on all sides of the parties, honey. We can go down the laundry list of the Jeffrey Epsteins and Harvey Weinsteins, the R. Kellys, the Donald Trumps of the world, the perverted uncle, etc., and all of these straight identifying folk who are afflicted this way. You have, you know, people from all walks of life who are afflicted this way. It's not a gay thing. It's not a straight thing. It's just a thing like all other things. So miss me with the foolishness. My God. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. Y'all can tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm going to get up out of her. See you later, child. Bye.